Hyundai channel, welcome to our live video series. We've got a really big 3 days planned here. This is the Kia Carnival SX. If you're an American, it's going to be like an SX Prestige. It's as good as it gets. It might be better than it gets. It's as good, like this is the best top of the line. And like I said, the Canadian one might be even better in the States. We'll find out. We also, tomorrow, we'll be talking about the Santa Cruz, top of the line there as well. And then on Monday, we're going to come back to the Sorento, top of the line. These are three vehicles that up until now, you're probably just going to have to order them to see them in person. So my goal is to make sure that when you see these vehicles through my videos, that you are comfortable in ordering it yourself. We'll talk about all that and more. So if you've never seen our videos before, we do these live every single weekday at 2 o'clock. And if you're joining us and you're not live with us, you can feel free to skip ahead to the 3-minute mark of the video where we'll start with the content. In the meantime, we're going to talk about some news, some notes, some other things. And we'll also, if you want to stick around, we'll show you how to join us live. So we'll do that right now. All right, flipping the camera around here, right like that. You can see the page that we don't need right now. We'll come back to that later. You can see our YouTube page right there. If you click into our YouTube page exactly at 2 o'clock on a weekday, you may see this, but if you click in at 2 o'clock and refresh the page like I'm doing right now, you will see that main video disappear and you will see the live video take over right there. You're gonna click into that live video. You're gonna watch a quick ad for a second. While we do that, I wanna ask you to support the 3 dealers that support us. If you're in Ontario and you're looking to buy a car, you can reach out to Brantford Kia, Owen Sound Hyundai, or Brantford Hyundai, and they will help you out. You can reach out to them through me in a link that I'll put in this description as soon as we're done being live here. All right, I'm gonna skip an ad there. There we go. If anybody wants to say hello in the comments, I haven't got any comments there yet, so I just wanna make sure they're working. I've tweaked a couple things here. Okay, we got a comment coming through right now, so that's perfect. Okay, would love to hear your take on that orange leather. Haven't seen it in person, but online looks very Halloween. Oh, okay, yeah. So let's talk about that. Would love the lighter off. Okay, yeah. Hey, Peter and Teddy. There we go. Teddy's over there as well. All right, let's talk real quick news and notes. Sorento PHEV pricing. So this is, of course, in Canada, we haven't had the Sorento hybrid like you did in the United States. We just got the Sorento hybrid coming in for 2022 model year. But we don't have pricing on the 2022 Sorento gasoline. We don't have pricing on the 2022 Sorento hybrid. We do have pricing on the Sorento 2022 PHEV, plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. So that vehicle is coming in this month, the end of the month. So we hope to have a video on it the very last days of this month if it comes in on time. Hopefully it's not a day late and we'll get it into October if it has to, but that vehicle's coming. We just put a video up this morning showing the pricing on that, so that's pretty cool. Like I said, tomorrow, Santa Cruz, top of the line. Today, Carnival, top of the line. Monday, Sorento, top of the line. We've got some pretty cool vehicles, 3 in a row here, and they're all pretty exciting. And we are at the 3-minute mark right now. Hey everybody, it's Peter from the Kia Hyundai channel. Thank you for joining our live video series. All right, so what we're gonna do today is we're gonna dig into this Kia Carnival and we're gonna go pretty in depth. I'm gonna try to show you things that you haven't seen in other videos. Like I mentioned earlier, if you are American with us, we call our top of the line here in Canada the SX. This is basically your SX Prestige. So top of the line, this is as good as it gets. And I'm gonna go a little bit controversial here and say, this is by far the most luxurious vehicle we have. And I will say by far, Telluride wins awards, left, right, and center. Stinger's amazing car. This one's nicer. That's not what everybody's gonna agree with, but I will say that from my perspective, it's the most luxurious vehicle we have. It has some just unbeatable luxury features and unbeatable technology features. So we're gonna dive right into that right now. Really quickly, I just wanna show you where we are in the trim line. It's at the very top. So this is pretty easy to do. In you go here to Kia Carnival. I've only got the top 3 trim lines, EX, EX Plus, and SX on the line. You can see there's about 3 trim lines below that, 3 trim lines below that. SX is $48,595. Now, that's a big price for a minivan, especially a big price for some people would say a Kia minivan. This is an unbelievable value in the industry. It's the largest van in its class. It's got a lot of cargo carrying capacity. I will say you lose a little bit of cargo carrying capacity with this SX with the VIP lounge seats because these middle row seats, they're not removable like they would be on other trim lines. The other thing I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna leave the rear seats down, in part because really to get full use of these middle row seats, we need them down. I don't think I'll pop them up. If you are looking at this minivan, you're probably looking at a family who does not need the 3rd row of seats. Maybe you're looking at a larger crossover, you need some luggage space, but the 3rd row seats were always gonna be optional for you anyways. That's who this vehicle is perfect for. You can take the 3rd row when you need them, but when you have these seats in full use, you really don't have a lot of use of the rear seats, and that's something to keep in mind. If you're looking for the EX Plus model, that's the model just below this, where you still have most of the luxury, a lot of the technology, but you don't have these VIP lounge seats where you have traditional 8-passenger vehicle instead of a 7-passenger vehicle. We just did a video on that a couple days ago, earlier this week, and we titled it about how to buy a Kia Carnival, because of course many of these are order only. If you need to place an order at this very moment, we can't quite place the order. There's this little pause right now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take your name, put you in a list, and we'll order it when we can. We explain the process. Here's how the process basically works. You place the order. Once we have a VIN number, then it is in production. From that point on, we can give you accurate timelines. Everything else before that is a guess. If you have a dealer that's telling you it's gonna be 6 months or 8 months or 100 months or 2 months, they might be guessing. So just I think if you're a good dealer, we try to do that here. Here's what we think we know, and here's what we actually know. We'll tell you about those kind of timelines. The automotive industry is crazy right now. Popular models are selling. I think a Ford F-150, somebody said, is July of 2022 to get what they wanted. So let's dive in here. We're gonna take your questions. We're gonna start in the middle row seats. You can see Martian brown leather. So Martian brown, okay, first of all, colors. They don't show perfectly on camera. So I want to say that right now I can see in my screen, looking at my screen, it's different than I see with my plain eyes. However, I do want to point out that it is similar, and you still get a sense of it. It's not quite as orangey in person, and it is called Martian brown. So again, it is something you may want to see in person, but if you generally like this idea, I think you're generally going to like it. It's a little less orangey, a little bit more browny in my view. However, the screen you're viewing on may not be the same screen I have. This is iPhone 11 Pro, so it's pretty good at reproducing color, but it's not perfect. And I just want to state that from the fact, I think if you like contrasting color, you'll really like this. If you're not 100% sure of the shade, it's similar, but not exactly the same. All right, let's talk about just a couple little things. First of all, I don't know if a lot of people know this, you can move these seats in and out. So what I just did is I pulled that manually this way. That can separate these two seats. That one can still move that way as well, and you can create some separation. Overall, in the upright position, even the headrests on these seats here, they are very luxurious and comfortable. Everything about this is great. You've got a good leather seating surface there, not an artificial leather. But let's start playing around with these seats. You know what? We're going to leave this one where it is, and I'm going to start playing with this one because I think it's easier to show you when I'm not sitting in the seat. So we will move to the technology in a second, but let's just start with the seat here. I wish I could go wide angle. If I'm filming normally on my iPhone, I can, but on the YouTube app, it won't let me go as wide angle as I want. There's a lot of sort of preset type things here. What you can do is, first of all, we're going to create some extra legroom here for me. And you can do that right here. Going to move that front passenger forward. Going to lean them forward. It's plenty far enough for me, but we could move it more and more and more if we wanted to. Now I want to show you the presets here. If you come in here, hold this, and the seat will start reclining eventually. Maybe. Oh, maybe it did. You know what? Somebody's been in this vehicle since I last touched it, so this does have to be moved over. Let's do that. Bring it this way. Nope, it's already over. No, it's not. Oh boy. Sorry guys, terrible video work. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna have to set this down for a second, guys. I apologize. Somebody jumped in here and checked out this van right before I jumped back in here. All right, let's move it this way here. Side to side, there we go. Now we've got it in the position where I need it. So this is one of those things that happens with a rare van. People want to show it to their customers and we've only got one in stock. All right, hold this button down and you'll see that the seat starts reclining. Now it's hard to show you on camera, but that's starting to recline. And this section here, so what's happened here is this has moved way up and that has reclined. Now that gets you only so far. The other thing I want to do is move the seat full backwards now. So I'm really showing you from the wrong angle. Let's go the other side. All right, so we've got the seat kind of tilted up and reclined, but we want to get that leg rest out. So let's go this over here. So it says I can sure use that seat in my office right now. Yeah, you know what? I've committed to doing some sort of fundraiser, working in this thing. I would live in this van for 24 hours if we could do that. We just can't get the van right now. Okay, the other thing I'm going to do, it does manually go forward and back. We're going to bring it all the way back. And I need two hands real quickly. You can see why I keep the rear seats out. Because when it goes all the way back, it goes all the way back. Like it's way back from where this one is here, right? The knee point is sort of at the hip point over there. But now you can keep adjusting things, and we're gonna use these buttons right there. So again, we were adjusting the presets, and now we're gonna use some of those buttons. So check out all the things you can do with this for the rear seats. If you have kids, this just says you love them, I think. Or you like to spoil them. Let me see if I can get the camera down here in the right angle. Oh boy, there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna move these seats back. Oh, that's the wrong way. So now I'm pulling it out. pull out this tab here. Oh boy. Honest guys, I know how to work this thing. There we go. So now I'm pulling out, oops. Going the wrong way. Okay, so now I'm pushing this piece out. Now I want you to watch this piece because it shows up really well with the different color leather. It does extend out if you hold it. Some people are forgetting to show that, and I think even in my Instagram pictures in the past, I was forgetting to show that. So now what you have is a fully reclining seat that is tilted all the way back, has an armrest if you want. The seatbelt is tied to the seat, so you can legally drive like this, and you also have the ability to put a long person's feet here. So again, I am 6 feet tall. Let me just jump into that seat for you. It's like a pedicure chair. It probably is. I've never had one of those because you can tell by my hair what kind of care I take of me. All right, so let me just jump in here because one, not many people get to call this making a living, but you can see the headrest here, I can adjust it up. It is at my head. Now let's flip the camera around and you get to see my fancy shoes. They are quite fancy. My socks are showing there. But if I sit up here, you can see the seat bottom is passed to my shoes. So a lot of lazy boy chairs that you get in the furniture store don't fit a 6-foot person. They're, your feet hang off the end. My heels are fully supported even. So I can literally lay back here and recline, and I've got the camera out the open sunroof above me. And I don't think this shows well on camera, but it is absolutely like a living room chair back here where you could sleep, you could relax, you could do everything. Now there's some faults back here. I can't reach the climate control. These are the rear climate controls. Somebody says I could sleep. I absolutely could. Here's the rear climate controls. You can see I'm reaching it with my toes. I can't actually reach that from back here. So although I do have a vent directly above me right here and the sunroof right above there, I don't have the access to those temperature controls. I would have to actually sit up, which is kind of hilarious. But yeah, I've got so much room back here. It's insane. Now, the other thing is, you can see this is what would be beside me. I'm using the opposite side of the van just to give you a better view. Peter gets a stick. Yeah. So you can see you can use the third row cup holders, but you can see the third row seats are right about here, and they would not be able to come up to where I am. So let's just take a look at that again, the flip side. So again, this is a specialty vehicle. It happens to be sold way more than we thought it would be. Kia Canada thought it would be. But these rear seats, if I'm this far back, now fully pushed back, fully reclined back, those rear seats are essentially unusable. Still tons of luggage space, but you can't tell me that the Telluride is more luxurious than that. If you've only got 4 people to take, you can't beat this in any way. All right, so we've shown you those seats. I've done other videos on those seats in the past. They're incredible. We're just gonna leave that there for now. We'll show you the trunk in a little bit. Let's shut these doors up for a second. A couple things of luxury that you can do is you can just approach the side door here with the key fob in your pocket, and you can set the car up to sense that key fob, and the doors will open automatically without touching anything. Same thing with the rear. Same thing if you walk away from the rear, you can program it to close on its own. We're going to close these in a second. I'm going to get the key in my pocket so I can show you the technology. And that's where we're headed. So where are we headed now? Let's talk about the technology. I'm just going to hold this button. Let's talk about technology. Let's talk about trunk space, lighting, those kinds of things. But I want to show you some things in the technology that you may not have seen before in other vehicles. I should have probably pointed out when we talked about these seats. And maybe I'll do that by just opening the door here. We'll come back in here. In addition to being really comfortable, these seats, oops, sorry about that. In addition to being really comfortable, these seats are also heated and ventilated with 3 settings on each. So it's just absolutely crazy. Somebody says, why is there no monitors? In Canada, we don't have the monitors behind the seats here. It is an accessory. I will say, and Kia Canada probably doesn't like this, I would consider, if I were you, getting an iPad instead. If you think about it, we have an iPad holder that can mount over here behind the driver. If you get an iPad, it's probably the same expense as those screens. And then, of course, you can use the iPad inside and outside. You can also Bluetooth the iPad's audio system to the main screen. So the driver can have their phone Bluetooth for audio and phone calls. And the passenger can take a Bluetooth thing like an iPad and make that the secondary device, which can also Bluetooth. And then they have the Bose audio system playing the the movie or whatever you've got on there. So something to consider. I'm of the opinion that DVDs are not a thing anymore. Many of you are not that way, but an iPad is another way to put that system in there. And again, in Canada, we don't have that system. I know you do in the States. All right, another reason this is more luxurious than some of our other cars, 4-way lumbar support. Many of our good cars, our high-end cars, only have 2-way lumbar support, but you have a lumbar support, that can go in or out and up and down, and that's a very nice feature to have. All right, let's jump in and show you technology here as well. Oh, another thing is memory seats. A lot of people like to have memory seats, especially in a vehicle like this that you share. Memory seats are available here. If you're looking to shut your doors in the vehicle, all the buttons are right down here, easy to access. Side door, rear door, and you can turn the power doors off right there. So nice, all of them together. In here, you can see I've got 2 sunroofs open. I'm gonna start the car, well, not start it. I'm gonna turn it to the on position, and you can see that dash comes to life. Looks pretty cool, digital dash. You can really customize the way that looks. I'm gonna turn the climate system off for a second. You also have this screen over here. Now, technology-wise, you have the same basic technology in something like a Telluride. What's different is this is a 13.3 inch screen, and this is a 13.3 inch screen. The 10.25 inch screen that's on something like the Telluride, to be blunt, feels small. I mean, it's a massive screen, but it feels small compared to these. So these are placed nicely towards you, angled slightly towards the driver, and 12.3 inch screen. Did I say 13.3? I've got numbers mixed up in my head. 12.3 inch screen, that's correct, not 13.3. But this feels like one single pane of technology when you look at it from the driver's perspective. And I'm having trouble making the wide angle view of this camera the same way my eyes would see. But you see digital here, you see digital there, and it works really well. So let's bring this wheel a little closer. Maybe we can sort of help that way. All right, tilt telescopic wheel, of course. A lot of things you can do in here, and let's just show you. Let's go over to here, and what we're gonna do is gonna go to the setup screen, and we're gonna go to the vehicle, and then we're gonna go to the cluster, and we're gonna go to the select a theme. There are themes you can do. We're not gonna link it to the drive mode. Classic A, that's what we have right now. We just showed you. Classic B is this one. This is like your sport mode. When you put in sport mode, you can see that. Pretty cool look. Classic C is a fancy view as well. Dynamic. This is pretty cool. My understanding, and I haven't driven this car at night because we haven't had one that's unsold here, is that this particular screen can change. It's dynamic for a reason. It can change between sort of the time of day and that kind of thing. And it's just a cool looking view. Now, one thing that's pretty cool, if I start the car up for a second and I signal to the left, you can see that replaces the speedometer. This replaces the speedometer there. Those are my blind view monitors. So that's kind of a cool thing if you, if you want to impress the kids. I think that's really what it is. It's pretty cool to me. I like it quite a lot. And again, those mirrors that you can use, instead of the mirrors, the blind view camera there is pretty cool. Are you able to control the middle of seats from the driver's center console? No, actually, that's a good point. You can't move their seats. You can move the passenger seat from here. You guys are asking some good questions. We're gonna get to some more questions in a second. You can move the passenger seat here, but you're right, those seats there, if they're reclined like they are right now, that's how it stays. Real quickly, we're gonna show you some other camera things. You probably have seen these on other videos because this is the stuff that everybody wants to show. Let's just go back to here, and we're gonna go to the passenger view monitor. Again, 13.3 inch screen. You can see there's my reclined seat over there. There's that. And if I had my zipper undone, you could just, oh yeah, look at that, it's undone. I don't know why you would use that. Just kidding. If you have people back there, you want to take a closer look, you can take a closer look on them right there. You also have the passenger talk option, which is kind of a nice thing. I don't know if you can hear me. No, it's not so bad, but it does echo a little bit because this right here, that's my microphone for the rear speakers. So when I do that, the microphone to the rear speakers, passengers can hear me without yelling, which is kind of a cool feature. So speaking of cameras in this car, let's go back to, where am I going back to? Let's go back to here. Let's just put the car in reverse for a second. Throw the car in reverse and you have a really nice backup camera, and you have this bird's eye view, which you can see. I can zoom out or I can zoom in and see things. And you can see the lines on the car right now. If I turn, let's turn it a lot. you can see that I've got the right side showing me where my nose will go when I go in reverse, as I spin around. Now, if I put it in drive all of a sudden, you can see the same thing happens going forward, and now this is the view in front of me. What's really cool about this camera is you don't have to turn it on. If you're slow speed in a campground, why am I saying campground? I'm thinking about camping. If you're slow speed in a parking lot, and you're moving forward, as soon as the front beepers, the front sensors turn on, because you also have backup and forward-facing beepers, which beep progressively quicker as you approach something. As soon as you activate those front sensors, what happens is you end up seeing the camera pops up in front of you. So when you're in reverse, of course, the backup camera comes, but when you're approaching, if this was a curb right now, the camera would have, or the beepers would have started, and the camera would have launched itself at slow speeds, and you can see, I wouldn't see that curb, but you can see here, it would allow me to not hit that thing. So somebody says, what model are you looking for? Was it me? Is there a heads-up display or augmented reality vision? There is not a heads-up display in here. No, yeah, I was gonna say, unless something changed. No heads-up display in this unit, although you have this fantastic digital display, which is pretty good there. Peter goes to camp on weekends. Shut up, guys. We have some regulars here that just know me a little too well. All right, I'm gonna go take your questions now before we come back to some of the technology in this car. I wanna come right back to this seat in this video. Normally I show you trunk space, all those kinds of things. I wanna stick with technology in this video, and if you wanna see more of this, we'll do more of this. We'll do more as we have more of these SXs come in and that kind of thing. So if you have a question, ask it. We're a little low on likes today. We got 44 people watching. I feel like we can hit 45 likes today. Only got about 23. So see if you can hit that. As we're leaving, I just want to hit one couple of key points here. When you look at the dash here, you've got the highway drive assist, which allows you to use your smart cruise control and lane follow assist. That means the car can accelerate and brake on its own and essentially steer itself to keep centered in the lane most of the time. Now, you have full responsibility. I didn't explain it the way the lawyers would probably like me to explain it. You're in charge of driving this car, but the advanced driver assistance systems on this car, keeping it centered in the lane, allowing itself to accelerate and brake through the smart cruise control, are very, very good. They're considered some of the best in the industry, and this is an absolutely amazing road trip car from the driver's seat because it's very easy to drive on long trips with all the safety technology. And then of course from the passenger seat, who wouldn't want to drive 10, 12 hours in that? All I got to say is I told my kids, one of my colleagues owns this car, and I said, if we borrowed Mr. Grant's car, nobody has any right to complain for the first 12 hours of our drive, because doesn't get better than that. All right, let me go ahead and take your questions right now. We will come back here. We're gonna spend about 30 minutes, probably go about 35 minutes today, maybe a little longer. We'll see how it goes. Oh, somebody says shift to park. That's a good idea. Let's turn that off. I wanna show you those opening sunroofs as well. Front and rear opening sunroofs. Oops, that's not the view everybody wants. So there is the rear opening sunroof. Telluride does not have an opening sunroof. It's a big one here. And again, front opening sunroof as well. So just a couple nice features that I think are worth pointing out. All right, let's take some questions here. And then we're gonna come back to this vehicle, go a little bit more in depth. This is a vehicle where I know that I'm long-winded. I would wanna spend an hour and a half going through it to do it properly, to show you every feature in the car to make sure everybody understands. We haven't got that kind of time, but obviously we can do multiple series on this. So I get that I'm long-winded, but I do like to go in detail here. All right, so let's dig into your questions here for a second. Yeah, you guys think I need another vacation? I 100% agree with that. Is this based on the same platform as the Telluride? Great question. No, it's not. So this is a lot of Honda, for instance, shares its platform between its pickup truck and its minivan and its SUV and that kind of thing. The minivan platform is not based on the Telluride, and to the best of my knowledge, it is not capable of an all-wheel drive system. So the big question is, why doesn't it have all-wheel drive? Will it have all-wheel drive? The short answer is, at this point, they are selling far more Carnivals than they can make. And that means that there's no real incentive for them to increase options to make it an all-wheel drive right now. I don't know if it can be, but right now it's not going to be for the next little while. They need to catch up with production before they add a feature like that. So to be honest, I don't think the platform is capable of all-wheel drive. And I think they've hit a home run as is. And keep in mind, if you want an 8-passenger vehicle with all-wheel drive, the Telluride's sitting right there in the same showroom. So it's something to keep in mind. All right, is there heads-up display? We talked about that. The advanced driver assist, I feel, keeps me more alert when I'm driving on the highway. I'm always surprised at how well the driver assist works. That is a fantastic point. I love when we do these live videos because that's exactly the way I feel. if you understand what the advanced driver systems do, they don't drive for you, although they do. But they do make it much easier to drive, and you are less tired from driving, and they make driving easier and more enjoyable. So that's what they're designed to do, and this person says that keeps them more alert, and I feel kind of the same way. I feel like I'm not tired of driving. I'm actually more alert when I'm using some of those systems in my vehicle. So great question. Can it be set up for 5 passengers and 1 recliner seat? Yes, you can put the rear seats up and use them at any point. The other point I was trying to make, though, is if you put that seat all the way back and then recline it all the way back, there's no room for that passenger behind. That doesn't mean that you can't recline it quite a bit. If you start using that footrest with a 6-footer, you're going to have to get rid of that 3rd row seat. However, if you start using that footrest with a child, someone smaller, maybe a 5-footer, there's still plenty of room in the rear seat there. So that can be done. But it's just worth pointing out, to get full use of those seats for someone my size, the 3rd row person's got to go. But you can absolutely use a 3rd row 5-passenger. You can cycle them through those seats. Maybe you have 1 set to full recline, 1 set to half recline, and then the 3rd row seat for someone else. You absolutely can do that. So there we go. So not same platform, but same engine. No, not same engine either. Same engine. This is a 3.5 liter. Oh boy, 290 horsepower. The Telluride is a 3.8 liter. This is a smaller engine than the Telluride. I'm going to say 3.5 liter. Oh man, there's so many cars in my head right now, guys. I'm sorry, between Hyundai and Kia products, but this is not the same engine and not the same platform. So I hope that helps a little bit. All right, coming back here. Do you think Hyundai will release a van, if like how they have the Palisade, the Telluride, Santa Fe, Sorento? Maybe. The question is not will they release it. They actually have a van. It's a really cool looking van in worldwide markets that came out just after the Carnival came out. However, it's not in Canada or the US right now. So it really comes down to the market, the Hyundai Staria. Thank you for the name there. You guys are awesome when I do these live things and I can't think of everything off the top of my head. I don't think that they'll bring it to North America yet because the van market is not as big as it once was, but there is that. Okay, somebody's trying to spam me and Google automatically hid your comments, so that's awesome. Okay, just gonna see if there's any questions I missed. Some of my regulars, if you think there's a question I need to answer, just feel free to ask it for me. Wish they'd often randomized so it's different each time you start the car. Oh, about the dash. That would be cool to randomize it. You can set it up, the dash, to go per drive mode, and you can also set it up for other things. All right, let's jump back into the car here. We're still short on likes. We're gonna go for 45. We got 48 people on right now. If you all hit the like button, we're gonna go like to 60 likes. I know that's really intimidating for most people, but it doesn't hurt to hit the like button. Just give it a try. I promise it won't hurt. All right, jumping back in here, let's go show you some more tech, things that I like in here. Obviously, we showed you the climate control and other. Oh, I forgot the key. Sorry, guys. It doesn't turn on well without the key. This is what I'm known to do, is forget the key. Let's put that in my pocket. All right, jumping in here. Like terrible camera work. Push button start, of course. I'm gonna hit the double tap because I'm not turning the car on. As you guys know, if you set the headlights to automatic, when you turn the high beams on, which is what I'll do right now by pushing it away, you're going to see that symbol, the green auto symbol right there, instead of the blue symbol. And that's because it senses that there's light around, whether it's street lights or other things, and the high beams will not actually turn on. Now, if I set the car to the headlights only, and turn it on. Now my high beams are on and you can set it, you can see them right up there. So I like to keep it on the auto setting, and when I turn my high beams on, they are automatic high beams. They work really, really well. So yeah, just something worth considering, that high beams and fog lights on this car. Whoa, let's zoom back out here. Over here, this system here is pretty cool too. You have a guest system set up right now, but you can set the driver. Whoops. Let's go back. To change the user here, I could go driver 1, driver 2, or guest. We're going to leave it in guest there, but of course you can customize so many features based on the driver on this car. I have to play with that more to tell you if the climate system is tied to it or not. Sometimes the climate system is. Like I said, the only vans I've seen of this are, oops, I don't want to switch profiles. Well, we're going to find out. We're switching profiles here. There we go. Nope, first run, so I don't want to do this on somebody else's car. All right, we'll leave it on the guest because this is going to deliver very soon, and actually tomorrow, I think. But you can customize a lot of that. Down here, this system is really fantastic. Tri-zone automatic climate control, and oh, I gotta start the car. My battery's going a little bit lower. Tri-zone automatic climate control, and then the benefit you have is you can also use this button here. That button there turns on the I don't know if you can see it here. Let's see if we can see it in the white area. You can see the dirty windshield. That's a good start. Oh, there we go. See the grids there on the white paint and below my fingers? Those little grid lines are there as a way to fully defrost and take care of the front windshield. So the entire front windshield will never have to be scraped. All right, so here's the catch, guys. We're 30 minutes into this video. I like to keep these at 30 minutes or so. However, because this car came from compound, it's been sitting for a bit, it hasn't been through our PDI process yet because I pulled it in for the video first. The battery's a little bit weak on that. That can happen when a car is brand new. I don't want it to go dead on me. So that's why the climate system's protected itself, turned itself off. We had those battery discharge warnings, which are common, but I don't want to go too far into the technology with that. Does the display allow you to change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit? Absolutely. You can change it from Celsius to Fahrenheit. Let's talk really quick safety items here. The cameras that we talked about for the highway drive assist, forward lane control, everything else, there's a camera there. That also allows you to have forward collision avoidance along with this radar plate down here. So you have that. You also have cameras in the side, like we pointed out, in the mirrors. Those mirrors give you that bird's eye view of the backup camera. They also, when you signal, the software changes to give you a view down this way so you can see what's in your blind spot. Somebody said, can Fahrenheit and Celsius be changed automatically based on navigation? No, and the reason that wouldn't change is because they assume that the driver likes Celsius or likes Fahrenheit. If you were an American and crossed the border in Canada and all of a sudden your temperature said Celsius, that might throw you off. Some of the Americans, of course, don't learn Celsius. Most Canadians learn Celsius and Fahrenheit a little bit. So yeah, it's not navigation based. You can change. The same thing with the miles per hour, kilometers per hour. The other thing is nice, the tire pressure monitors. We had my Chevrolet Colorado in here the other day comparing the vehicle to the Santa Cruz, which again, we have the Santa Cruz tomorrow. But things like on my car, when I change it to kilometers per hour, the PSI changes to kilopascals. Well, I can tell you right now, there are very few Canadians that know what a kilopascal is as far as tire pressure. We measure our tires in PSI, we measure our weight in pounds, we measure our height in feet, for the most part. So on this one here, you can set the tire pressures to PSI, kilopascals, whatever you want, bar even, separate from the miles per hour, kilometers per hour, Celsius, Fahrenheit, which is kind of a nice thing to have as well. Roof racks up top. The top sunroof pops up. I don't know if I showed that earlier. And the rear sunroof pops back, and you can see there's a little lip on that sunroof. I do recommend if this one's open and you're going at any speed, that you also open this one. It gives a little bit more wind resist or wind protection right there, which is kind of nice as well. All right, guys, 32 minutes in. Tire monitor standard in this? Yes, tire and pressure monitors are standard across the lineup, I believe, on every single Carnival now. Not sure about the lowest trim level, but I'm 98% sure it's on every Carnival. Somebody's still asking a question here, so let's go on to the questions. Do you think this is too big for a family of four compared to, say, the Seltos or the Hyundai Tucson? That depends on you. I am the family of four. We'll fit fine in a Seltos. However, I seriously considered this for a while because the captain's chairs to put my kids in and do some traveling, it can tow 3,500 pounds, which is all the towing that I would need. It was something that was on my list for a while. At the end of the day, I decided that it's not something I'm going to go with, but it just really depends on you. Do you want to go with a vehicle like this for 4 passengers? You absolutely could. It's a really nice 4-passenger vehicle. There's a lot of SUVs going down the road with just the driver in it. This would be fine to go with just the driver, but when you start taking passengers, there is never somebody going to yell shotgun in this vehicle where you sit in the front seat. Everybody's going to want to be in the back seats. And it is something that I would seriously consider for 4 people. Absolutely. Especially if you're doing any road tripping. I mean, going around town on Lazy Boy is fun, but to go on a long trip would be amazing. All right. We have the SX top. Somebody's writing this. Something? I think they got cut off. Does the Carnival have navigation-based smart cruise control? Yes, essentially yes. So it can have that curve control, those kinds of things. I'll be honest, I have not had the chance to drive the SX further than around the parking lot because everyone's been sold. I will find one. One of my coworkers has one. I will try to see if I can take his out on the highway so I can drive it. I've driven every other Carnival, so no real concern there. But I haven't tried some of those advanced features on this trim on the highway. One final thing I just want to show you back here. We showed this on the some of the Tucson models, but not the Santa Fe the other day. You can see there's no windshield wiper back here at all. There actually is one, but instead of placing it down here where the window grid melts all your snow and ice to your wiper, and then as soon as you leave the car, it freezes again on the wiper, and then the wiper doesn't work. First of all, it's a cleaner look without that wiper, and it's also smarter to have it buried up here. So no snow and ice can sit on it. It cleans that and it works really, really well. So really smart back there. And there we go. Clean window in the back. Yeah, so clean look there as well. All right, guys, we are about 34 minutes in. I want to tell you more about this car. So if you're not watching live with us, fill me in the comments below of what more you want to know about this car. So say, I want to see a video about XYZ on this car so that I know I can pull one back in here again because this one is going to be going out tomorrow, but we will have more coming in and we'll go from there. All right, sorry about a random question. How do you remove the cargo cover in the Seltos SX and change the turn signal to 5 clicks instead of 3? Can I show you that? If you, Mr. Singh, if you send me an email, I will tell you how to do that. I don't want to do it in this video just because by the time I dig into this car, I'm concerned I'm going to mess with the lower battery. So, all right, we're going to leave it there. Somebody says, put Teddy in the third row. We're going to leave it right there. We'll throw Teddy in the third row later. Teddy's going to take a day off today. Tomorrow, when do you think Kia will resume taking orders? That's a great question. I don't have an answer. I would assume it would be soon. What happened is Kia Canada sold out of their Canadian allotment within like a month and a half for the year. So they sold out like crazy. And then of course, because of supply chain issues, it's hard to just order more. I don't know if you've seen the automotive industry right now. There's a lot of dealer lots that are pretty empty right now. We're one of them. So they will start placing orders soon. You can place an order with us today, but basically what that means is we don't actually place the order until we're able to. Once we're able to, we'll put it in line. SX models are going to be a ways away. So if you are looking to buy an SX, I would say place your order very quickly. Place it very soon because it is going to be a several month wait. I don't know how much. I would be purely guessing. Some people have said 6 months. Some people have said 8 months. I don't know. So it will be a wait. If you are in a situation where you can wait for that vehicle and you like it, order it now. It'll be worth it. All right. Will it be a PHEV or a... will there be a PHEV for the new Sportage or Tucson? Tucson is coming in a PHEV. Sportage, I don't have powertrain options yet, but I would expect it. So that's a good question as well. And I think we'll go from there. Still looking for 5 more likes. So we're going to answer a couple more questions, see if we can get to 45 likes. He also does, oh yeah, so to be fair, yeah, the reason I'm not throwing Teddy in the trunk, I should clarify, is not because I'm being rude, it's because we've gone a little bit over time and I have other Carnival videos with Teddy in the trunk, so please feel free to watch them. You can scrub ahead and see when I start putting Teddy in or when I start going in the trunk, we can do that as well. Santa Fe PHEV coming too? Yeah, Santa Fe PHEV will be coming as well. So yeah, I don't want you to think I'm missing stuff. I've done some of that stuff before and I want to make sure we get it back in. All right, guys, we're going to leave it right there. 37 minutes. Tomorrow, Santa Cruz. I'm going to do something that you guys, well, not do something. I'm going to talk about things you probably haven't seen before in other videos. I've watched a lot of videos on the Santa Cruz, and there's a lot of auto reporters that are inaccurate. So we're going to talk about that, clarify some stuff, because I can tell you what I'm saying will be true, whereas some things they've said have been not true. They just skim over and don't read the specs, and they're not really sure what they're talking about, but they sure enjoy driving that car for the week. So we're going to talk about that tomorrow with the Santa Cruz, different stuff, and correcting some of the misconceptions. Monday, we're going to go really in-depth with the Sorento SX, more so in-depth than we did just now. There we go. Have a great night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow. Join us for the Santa Cruz thing. I think it'll be fun tomorrow. So we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks.